the face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night.
Here we are trying to think of another cold opening. Here's one straight from the fridge. Another Petit Falou drink. I say so.
That is some nice Petit Falou.
Well, it's better than Monster because, like, apparently you said it yourself before you went on the show today. It's like, it's better I don't have Monster today just in case I go off on you.
You know what it is? See, this is called ice. So, you know, you are what you drink.
Petit Falou ice.
So, I drink some ice. I'm as cool as ice.
Okay.
I drink Monster, I become a hyper monster.
Yes, you do.
I think that's what it is.
That's what it is. Tired, grumpy, giddy monster.
Bouncing off the walls and stuff. It was probably not a good idea to be drinking Monster that late anyway, but I was still getting used to my new job.
No, yeah, but you have to understand, like, that you thought that was a reasonable buzz to get you out of a tight situation.
Dave, don't hold me back anymore.
I'm not trying to.
I'm
calling it as I see it. Anyway, coming to you from Near FM Studios and also from all the podcast providers.
I will walk off this set right now.
No, you won't.
You played my bluff, sir. Well done.
And also the DMC Podcasts Network. This is Welcome to the Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides with me, Dave Cullen, and the Secretary of State for NAC America, Daragh Maher. How are you this afternoon?
I am fantastic, Dave.
Yep.
Just taking a couple of days out of NAC America just to come here to do the podcast with you. Yep. Of course, I always enjoy doing the podcast with you. After this, I'm getting on a private jet that President Nakamura has gotten for me.
You think for a new country? You think for a new country that it would be one of these ones where, oh well, maybe like they're still not the most funded ones yet, but yet they already have private planes.
President Nakamura will take care of his most loyal and closest friends.
Your secretary say that's second in command, isn't it? By vice presidents?
No. Vice president is.
Who is vice president? Funaki?
Sorry?
Who is vice president? Funaki?
No. Funaki is a communications manager.
Oh, good call.
Yes. Yeah. Number one communications manager.
Nice.
He always comes in and says to me, we got this running joke, you wouldn't get it.
No, I bet I won't.
But no, strangely enough, he has Randy Orton as his vice president now. Yeah. It's always weird when you go into that office and Randy Orton puts out his hand.
Oh yeah, I heard he's a very hands-on type of guy, like, you know, so
he's definitely got his hands on something.
Anyway, we're coming to you from Near FM Studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock. I'll be here just for the next hour, bringing you the latest in the world of professional wrestling.
Did you master the Deli Alley thing yet?
No, I haven't.
No, he brought out a new one.
Oh, you're joking.
And I just done after that.
Once my fingers touch my forehead, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Once I'm doing it.
That.
Yeah, you could do better than I do.
Yeah.
See, Dara's trying to have another attempt, but there. Listen, this is me doing it, right?
Another attempt, I got it.
No.
I'm
trying to do
it wouldn't be a challenge if it was that easy.
Exactly, you're probably right.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're going to be talking about the latest previews from the likes of Phoenix Wrestling, Main Stage Wrestling, and who else? And Low Blows as well that are coming up, and Pro Wrestling Ulster as well. We'll be talking about the latest takeaways from WWE and also addressing our yes nos. All to come, but first we're going to start as always with the news.
Before we start the news, Dave, can we address the elephant in the room here?
What elephant is that now?
Your performance at Low Blows on Sunday.
Do we really need to bring that up? You weren't even there.
I know, but you told me about it, and I want everyone else to know about it.
But there's nothing to know.
Did you use any of the jokes I told you?
Yes, I did, and they didn't go off. The point is, my delivery as a stand-up is atrocious. I speak too fast
give me a
when
joke.
I'm nervous.
Give me a joke that you used.
I just told you a joke earlier on. How Randy Orton's very hands-on as a vice president. Boom. Happy now?
You got another one?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
To the news!
Yes, let's talk to news now.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone!
We're going to start with news concerning WWE Evolution after being announced to the crowd at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. For one of the matches for WWE's Evolution pay-per-view has been now made official. WWE showed a graphic last Saturday night that said Alexa Bliss will be facing Trish Stratus, and the company has since confirmed the match, and the pay-per-view of course will be taking place at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York in October 28th. Stratus returns to the ring for the first time in nearly 7 years during the Women's Royal Rumble this January. Along with Lita, she has been confirmed for Evolution when WWE announced the pay-per-view last month. WWE have hyped so far over 50 wrestlers, either past or present, to participate in the event, and will feature Raw, SmackDown, NXT and NXT UK Women's Championship matches. The Mae Young Classic Finals will be held at the pay-per-view as well, after it was set during 2 nights of tapings earlier this month. So, like, we had a bit of a debate at this at the start of the show. You think it's a mistake on WWE's part to have this announced now?
I believe so.
And why is that?
Yeah, it's not so much it's a mistake. It's a massive mess up by whoever decided to release the graphic of this match happening.
Right.
If this was any other pay-per-view, say for example, what's the next one? Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Okay. If Hell in a Cell was next week,
okay,
or not next week, Hell in a Cell is obviously coming up, and you are having a legend come back,
right,
in the form of Trish Stratus, there is no way you would have released the match graphic for that at an event beforehand.
Because it's a sort of a special event, though, as well.
But see,
if
the
you let
thing
me
is,
finish, if you let me finish,
okay,
if because it's sort of a special event as well, like, you know, and maybe it's something to have announced now. Let's put it this way: it could be a good thing. That way, it has weeks and weeks to build up as well. Like, I understand how it may not be necessary to announce something straight away, but can you understand how that can be a good thing as well? And it gives something. Oh, now this gives us a really good reason. I want to see this match, but let's see what they do with it over the next few weeks up to October 28th. Does that make sense as well, though?
Yeah, but it does. It makes sense to an extent.
Right.
Okay. I'm just trying to look at it from the point of view is they're probably going to want to have to do something like this every year. Ideally, they want to do. I'm guessing. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to do this every year, you need to treat it like one of every of your pay-per-views. Like I says, you would not do this on any other pay-per-view.
Well, that's what would be worse then. If they announced this match early off, if they announced Charlotte versus Becky, which I imagine will be an inevitable match for this pay-per-view. Probably main event.
But see, that's fine. You can announce Charlotte versus Becky now, early. That's fine, because we know the story that's going on because of what Becky did.
But that's the thing, we don't know what to predict. We'll get onto it when we talk about SmackDown, but we don't know what to predict of it yet, like, you know.
But I'm not talking about what to predict of it, but there's no, like, this match is cold, if you know what I mean. Like, starting off this match now, hyping up this match between Trish and Alexa is cold. If you wanted to have something, you could have, if you wanted to announce this match early, so maybe like, my thinking behind this is that they've done this because they're going to try and boost ticket sales.
Yeah, so that's the whole point. Yeah,
I know that's the whole point. But with the smarter way, and to keep the story going, and to keep people invested week by week leading up to this, would it not have been the case of? Would it not have been better for? You just need Alexa. Okay, let's for example, you just need Alexa come out, cut a promo on the division at the moment and a division of the past, and say no one at all could be able to lace my boots, not even Trish Stratus. There's your build, there's your hook.
Yes, but here's the thing as well. Compare this to another situation of active wrestlers from any of the wrestlers we just mentioned, Raw, SmackDown, the 2 NXTs. Because this match is between NXT US and NXT UK.
Oh, sorry.
And
I have to get used to that.
Yeah, no. Because this match is technically a current versus a legend.
Yes.
That's why I think this is excusable to be mentioned now and to be built up later on. If this was a match between two current rosters, I'd be more disappointed, personally.
No,
do you understand where I'm coming from?
I do. I think we are going to have a difference on this for sure, but I feel that, like, especially for a legend the stature of Trish Stratus and stuff, I don't like such a cold announcement. It's not befitting of her coming back into the ring and having a match.
I disagree. And we know she's coming, and we
would have known that anyway. We knew that anyway.
Yeah, well, we didn't know to what content. Now we know it's in the proper match with a current top star in the women's
We
division.
would have known there was going to be a match.
I don't know about that now. But anyway, we'll move on. We're going to disagree all day with this. You have news about Matt Riddle this week.
Yes, of course, people who are watching TakeOver Brooklyn on Saturday, or any other day before, for that matter, would have seen that Matt Riddle was in the crowd.
King of Bros.
The King of Bros. And NXT announced, of course, that he has signed with WWE, and he won't be making his last independent wrestling appearance until late next month. Progress Wrestling announced on Sunday that Riddle will be appearing at their show at the SSE Arena, Wembley, in England on September 30th. An opponent for Riddle has yet to be announced. Riddle lost to PCO at Joey Janela's loss in New York last Friday night in his last match before appearing at TakeOver. Progress has a close working relationship with WWE, and the SSE Wembley show is the biggest event in the promotion's history.
It's an appropriate show for him to go out on, that's for sure. True. Who do you think his opponents?
I guess that he won't be at that fan appreciation night then on September 30th for OTT.
Ah, well.
There was one match announced for that, wasn't it? Wasn't it like the Rascals against More Than Hype or something like that?
That was Contenders.
That it was announced at Contenders.
Yeah. We'll get onto that. We'll when we talk about Contenders later on. Not Joey Janela. Strange Strickland challenged both LJ Cleary and Nathan Martin to challenge those two guys in the next Contenders show. So that's going to be a hell of a match, though. But going back to Matt Riddle, who can you see him facing in his last match? Could be anybody. I'd like to say Walter, but he's their champion at the moment, and it wouldn't make much sense if this was a non-title match.
Well, you could still make the title match and have him lose.
Yeah, but it's a predictable outcome then, isn't it?
True. It wouldn't take away from the match, though.
He should face, I don't know, actually. See, all the British Strong Style guys are booked. Obviously, Dunn's against Dragunov. I think the British Mustache Mountain are involved in that.
Jimmy Havoc?
Maybe. That's a good call, actually. Maybe if they bring someone...
Mark Haskell?
Oh, yes. I was going to say, what if they bring back someone who was involved in Progress and could come back for that show as well, like a Keith Lee or someone like that?
I don't know about that now. But I have no idea. I haven't actually seen the full card for Progress just yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know who exactly is booked and who isn't booked.
Well, what do you think? Well, when he actually has his show anyway, how can you see Matt Riddle being booked in NXT? Like, can you see him being up there with the title pictures, like either North America or NXT, or what can you see him? Because he's one of these guys. Build. Do you think so?
I think it'd be a slow build. Yeah.
We'll see what happens anyway. We'll move on concerning some big news concerning New Japan's pro wrestling's schedule going forwards. They released full cards for their next big tour, Destruction, which will be running in September. 3 big main events have been signed for each Destruction show. On September 15th, Tomohiro Ishii will challenge Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight title. A special singles match will take place between Tetsuya Naito and Minoru Suzuki on September 17th, and on December 23rd, Hiroshi Tanahashi will defend his Tokyo Dome IWGP Heavyweight title shot, taking on Kazuchika Okada. The other big news on Monday's press conference is that New Japan chairman Yoki Sakabayashi stripped Hiromu Takahashi of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. It was revealed in a short video that Hiromu Takahashi, who didn't want to be seen until he makes his return from his neck injury, will be represented by Mr. Belt, the IWGP title himself. Did you see this promo, by the way? It's really funny. Check it out. The link is on this page now that you see here. So, it's translated in English, has the subtitles in the bottom, and someone the Belt talks for Takahashi with the presence there. It's brilliant to watch. Anyway, Sakabayashi later revealed in the press conference that the WGP Junior title will be defended in a 4-man tournament, with the first match taking place on September 23rd between Kushida and Bushi, and the second at Fighting Spirit Unleashed on September 30th between Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll. The winners of the 2 matches will compete for the title at King of Pro Wrestling on October 8th. Also announced at the Fighting Spirit Unleashed show at Long Beach, California, USA, is Cody challenging Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States title, and the Young Bucks defending their IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles against the Gorillas of Destiny. Also notable matches and returns includes Beretta, who will start his be back on the tour after a torn tricep. The Killer Elite Squad, Ayato Yoshida, who made his debut at the G1 final. It's actually very impressive. He's in one of the first matches. He's like a young what's his name, who was injured recently and was in Tanahashi's corner. She's like a young Shibata. He looks very similar to him actually. And also so
he looks like a young Suzuki. Because Shibata looks like a young Suzuki.
Yeah, well, he's yet to look like a young Suzuki. He's young Shibata so far. And Satoshi Kojima will also compete in the main event of the September 9th Road of Destruction event at his return bout as well. So a really stacked card there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Any matches for you that stand out there?
It would obviously have to be the heavyweight championship match between Ishii and Omega. It's obviously a huge standout match.
I'm intrigued between Young Bucks and Guerrillas of Destiny now, for months.
Yeah, well, with the Civil War continuing, it'll be interesting because the Young Bucks already lost their 6-man tag titles to the Guerrillas of Destiny.
Yeah.
Will they also lose the heavyweight championships to them too? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, no sign of the Intercontinental Championship being defended with Jericho.
Yeah, it's true, and I think Fozzy finished their tour now, so should be any time soon. I heard he's going to be involved with Impact soon, so who knows what that could involve.
Yeah. They might start some seeds of whoever he'll face at the Tokyo Dome, though.
Out of the the junior heavyweight title, who can you see win the title of those for?
It's like tossing up a 4-sided coin.
Pretty much.
Any one of them could have do it.
I wouldn't count out Bushi. He seems like the dark horse out of those four, but I wouldn't count him out at all.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because the other three are former champions, but like Bushi has yet to win it, so I wouldn't count him out at all.
If it was me personally,
I'd like to see Skrull win it again, personally.
I would like to see Skrull win it again, but I think they'll probably put it on Kushida.
Probably. As for Tanahashi and Okada, that's a very dangerous style defense of his title shots.
It is, yeah.
Especially now that he's getting momentum, Okada, and that match they had at the G1 fight at the A block finals, I think it was.
Yeah, no. As much as I like these matches, I don't see the briefcase changing ever. So I would think that Tanahashi be okay, but still looking forward to the match nonetheless.
Should be awesome anyway. We'll finish off the news with announcements from the series Glow.
Yeah, Glow is officially returning to Netflix for a 3rd season. The series renewal was announced on Monday, with it set to return for another 10-episode season. When the episodes will be appearing has yet to be announced.
Have you actually watched any? Sorry, my mic wasn't on. Have you ever watched?
That'd be an idea to turn that on, wouldn't it?
Have you ever watched any Glow yet? Actually,
I've watched both seasons.
I haven't watched any of it yet.
Yeah, I've watched both seasons.
Everyone tells me to watch it.
I'm not making any sense. I enjoyed season 1 immensely. Wasn't so keen on season 2. I thought it was a little bit of a letdown. I didn't like it as much as season 1. It was still good, but it definitely went down.
So you feel the season needs to pick up, if you like?
This will be an important season, I feel.
Okay, cool. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, that's all our news. Now we'll get on to our previews of the week.
What? Look at what we have here, folks!
We have 3 previews to bring you this week anyway. So obviously there's been a lot of talk about the All In show coming up. Low Blows are going to be showing one of their parties for this now at Buskers in the Ball on Saturday, September 1st. Obviously, the usual sick, they have tickets available on November.ie, free for Low Blows Network subscribers, pre-show entertainment, and no Temple Bar prices from 9 p.m. So, like, that's a card. Like, it's really stacking up the card for that lately, isn't it? Like, so.
Yeah, it's a great card. Absolutely brilliant card.
Like, have you seen much of of Being the Elite lately?
Oh, I never miss an episode.
Even the last one where like they had a small confrontation between Skrull and
that wasn't the last episode. There was one I bring this week.
That was this week's episode.
Was it?
Most definitely. It was the very, very end.
It was. You're right. Sorry. I loved the.
You never miss an episode.
But I never missed an episode, so it all comes together.
All right.
I loved the. I think what was it? It was about 3 or 4 minutes long of Christopher Daniels' promo.
Yeah, that was a good promo.
It was fantastic.
look, so to just give you an idea of the matches so far, like we haven't actually really gone through the card for this yet. Like Nick Aldis will be defending the NWA World Heavyweight title against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Okada.
Flip is going to have something to do with that for sure.
Who?
Flip.
Maybe. Well, no, isn't he going to be referee for the 6-man tag?
No. If you remember, Cody said no.
Oh.
He said no. No.
No.
No. No. No. No. No. No. No. No. No. No. No. No.
You have Okada against Skrull. You have Janela against Hangman Page. That's actually a very interesting match.
Yeah.
Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito against the Golden Elite. Christopher Daniels against Stephen Amell, as we mentioned. The Briscoe brothers against Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky from SoCal Uncensored. The Over-Budget Battle Royale. The winner will get a title shot of against Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor World's title.
On the same night.
Yeah, do you know who's announced for it so far? You have Jordan Grace. Remember her from
Jordan Grace,
sorry. Moose, Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana, Ethan Page, Brian Cage. Sorry, Ethan Page, excuse me. Brian Cage, Billy Gunn, Jimmy Jacobs, and Marco Stunt. Also, Kenny Omega, of course, will be taking on Pentagon 1-on-1. And the Fatal 4-Way, Madison Ray, Brett Baker, Chelsea Green, and Tessa Blanchard. So it's already shaping up. I'm looking forward to this card big time.
It sounds brilliant.
So we highly recommend you check it out in Low Blows. Obviously, they had it was an awesome party for SummerSlam.
I'll be there. I'm going for all in.
Awesome. You're all in?
I'm all in.
Also happening
I'm all in for Low Blows.
Also happening next weekend is PWU's Restival 2018, happening on Sunday, September 2nd at the S13 in Belfast. Tickets available on tickettailor.com. Matches announced includes Debbie Cattell to take on Joki. A match between Prento, Baxter, Bobby Diamond, and Young Lion, the Fatal 4-Way. Rocky Starr to take on Chris Renfrew. Nathan Byrne to take on Luther Valentine. Lauren LaRue to defend the PW Women's title against Lady Valkyrie. Some performances from several bands, including Alpha Twin, American Gypsy Pig, SX70, Your Man and the Other Fella, among others. I love that band name, by the way. Your Man and the Other Fella. They'll also be having a live edition of Justice Spandex Pantomime. So
that's going to be class.
Yeah, like I'm looking for some interesting matches. Byrne against Valentine and Starr against Renfrew are particularly good as well. Like so some interesting matches there.
I know. I keep saying that I'll have to go up north to see a show, but I can never get up to that part of the country. It's always look. I will do it.
We'll do it together sometimes. One place we will be going very soon is Limerick, because Phoenix Wrestling will be having I See You Played Spoony Before show happening at September 8th in Dolan's Warehouse in Limerick. What?
Knifey Spoony.
It just says, oh sorry, you're right. God, I missed that completely there. I See You Played Knifey Spoony Before. Happening at Saturday, September 8th in Dolan's Warehouse in Limerick. Tickets available on eventbrite.ie. They've only announced so far the session at Martina for that, but I imagine all the matches will be announced as the date gets closer. So, and of course, we'll be having, for the first time ever, our first ever outside broadcast for the Kickouts. Yeah,
we will. Live recording a podcast, I think either before or after. We haven't decided yet.
I think it's going to be after.
I think after would be the best one.
Yeah, because that'll be fresh off everyone's mind, fresh off the matches. We can talk to the best, the people who maybe stood out most in the show, or anyone who just wants to chat. So sounds like the best way to go. Anyway, that's our previews for the week. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we will talk about. Sorry, what do you want to talk about? Sorry.
I think we should talk about Courage Wrestling.
Oh yeah, like they recently announced. So a new wrestling company as such has just been announced recently. They're going to be having their first show in the Rights venue in October. So they announced a few names. They announced Phil Bush in particular.
Just going through. So Friday the 26th of October in the Right venue in Swords, which is a very interesting place to have it. Very interesting place.
That'll do well. Actually, that's a good place for a wrestling show when you think about it. It's very similar to. It's actually more similar to the Tivoli than you may think. When you think about it.
It is a lot.
Slightly bigger.
Slightly bigger. I remember actually I performed in the Right venue before.
Now what was that for?
White collar boxing.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you win?
I'm not talking about it.
I think that's a no.
Nobody. We all win because we took part.
We're
It was
all
for
winners.
charity.
We're all winners. Well,
It was for charity.
all right.
But yeah, it's in association with PWU.
Mm-hmm.
It's an all ages event. So that's also very important to know. First bell is at 7:00. Some of the names that have been announced include TK Cooper.
Yeah, that's a big coup for them actually.
Yeah, we've got of course Phil Boyd.
Yeah.
Who come on,
Phil the Trill.
Phil the Trill. That small package is going places. You've got Dmitry Krakovic has been announced. Charlie Morgan has been announced.
Okay.
Who else have we got?
I think they announced Chris Renfrew as well, didn't they?
Chris Renfrew has been announced. You are right. Rhea O'Reilly has been announced.
Oh, cool.
Like I said, TK Cooper is there too. I see some other people here. Is it BT Guns there? Is he going?
Seriously?
Is it? I think so. Yeah.
Nice. So it's definitely an interesting lineup coming up there as well. So a mix of British and
tickets are on sale now.
Okay.
All profits will go to Temple Street Children's Hospital as well, which would be for a great cause too.
Okay, cool.
Which would be fantastic.
Cool. We'll be giving you more of an in-depth preview for that as we get closer. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe have a chat with someone involved in that. So,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. On that note, we will take a break now. When we return, we will talk about all the takeaways from the mid-card action from WWE, or the midweek action, I should say, from WWE, as well as address our rumors of the week after this short break.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com. In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grawlix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grawlix Podcast. Listen to it at grawlixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
We're back here on the Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides. Now let's continue on. We're obviously now, anyone who's listening to us on our podcast service, we have covered NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and SummerSlam on our previous show. So make sure, if you wanted to check out our previous thoughts on that, make sure to check out our podcast there. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about all the midweek action from WWE.
Dave, I have an idea.
What's that?
You know how we talk about... well, obviously you know how we talk about Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
But we talk about one good, one bad, if you know what I mean.
So what do you mean?
You know how we talk about the good and the bad?
Yeah.
Of course, you know. What about we take turns?
Okay, so you talk about a good thing, I'll talk about a
So
bad thing.
I'll mention... No, we'll say... Okay, so we'll say Raw. Okay, we'll start with Raw.
Okay, we'll start with Raw.
Okay, so you'll start.
Okay.
And you'll say one good thing that you like about Raw.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I like the fact straight away that we have an actual defending Universal Champion. Roman Reigns has already gone there to the fact that he wants to establish himself as a defending and a fighting Universal Champion, and he straight away challenged Finn Balor.
Typical sort of face promo after he wins the title.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
I'm going to be a fighting champion, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm totally okay with that. Here's Constable Corbin, who tried to interfere with the whole thing, but Angle ended up making a match, and it was actually a very good match between the two of them. And the way that Strowman came in as well, like when where he could have cashed in again, but that almost distracts him. Think, oh my god, he could win it, but he missed and got the spear, and then like, oh well, here comes Braun now. Here comes Braun, and as soon as he's about to cash in, the Shield are back. And let me tell you something. I think the way they cashed in this match the way the Shield returned in this case was so much better than when they came in, simply because we didn't see it coming.
Oh, okay.
Now you could argue the fact that we sort of saw it coming with like Ambrose being together back with Rollins. Last week we were talking
Never saw this coming.
Yeah, exactly. Last week we were talking about the fact we were flirting with the idea of Ambrose attacking Rollins.
Yeah, Ambrose turning heel.
Yeah, but not at all. Is this a better reunion of the Shield than last year for you?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, I think so. I think so for sure.
Yeah,
the only thing that would have made it perfect is if they came down through the crowd.
Yeah, but
that would have made it perfect. But look, it's fine. They're back together, so we're happy.
We would argue the fact that they went backstage to put their rights gear
Here's
on.
an interesting thing that you just said yourself, right? And a very interesting point. Have a defending Universal Champion.
Right.
Okay? You're so happy. And he did defend it on Monday Night Raw.
He did.
In
a very good match.
Give him props for that. In a very good match, of course. Finn Balor finally gets his match for the Universal title that he's been waiting 2 years for.
And he played off their size differences very well as well. So and there's a stylistic difference as well when they watch the match properly.
The point I want to make is...
What?
It looks like for the first pay-per-view they'll have a new champion. He won't defend his belt.
What do you mean?
The first pay-per-view is going to be Hell in a Cell.
Right.
The Shield attacked Braun.
Right.
Member of the Shield is the Universal Champion.
Right.
Braun's going to bring backup. There's going to be a 6-man tag.
Okay.
So the title's not going to be defended.
Well, what 6 tag? Who's going to be in teaming for Braun then?
Rumours are Bray and Luke.
Who?
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper.
Because Rowan is injured.
But he's on SmackDown.
Doesn't mean that.
It kind of does. He's on SmackDown.
Rowan's going to be out for a while.
That's true, but I don't know. I don't know.
They're not going to have a one-on-one match.
Well, it could be a fact that, like, you know, like you could have the thing where it's like Rollins is still doing his thing, like Ambrose is still doing his thing, but they still protect Reigns from being Universal Champion. They could turn heel as a result of this as well. You never know.
Are they already heel?
They're cool right now. I don't know. We have to see what happens with it. Like, you know,
we'll have to see what happens next week, and it makes you want to tune in.
That's the thing. This is why I compliment WWE. For weeks like this. When they get it right, they do it so well. Like, you know, I think, like, I heard a few people say, like, over the last time, oh, well, you know, is Vince really slowing down and stuff? Well, when he brings stuff together, he puts stuff together, and this works, and it makes you want to watch now. Like, this is a reason that we want to watch Raw. The Shield are back, you know, and so we can go from there. Anyway, give us a bad moment for Raw for you.
Oh, I'm doing a bad one.
Yeah, you want a bad one, didn't you?
I was going to do it good. Another good.
Do you want me to bring a bad one up first before you bring up a good one?
Well, no, you do a good, I'll do good. You do a bad, I'll do a bad.
I'll do good, so you do bads. No.
You say something good, like you said.
Yeah.
We should have really discussed this off air, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
You do a good.
Yeah.
Then I'll do a good.
Okay. Okay, you do a good now, okay.
And then you'll do a bad, and then I'll do a bad.
Okay, good. You do a bad. You do a good right down now.
Okay, so another good moment from Raw this week. There was a couple. I'll be honest with you, and that's rare that I say that.
It's very rare you say that.
What am I happy about with Raw? What am I happy about with Raw? I'm always so negative. And trying to think of one is hard. Triple
H's segment, like over to Undertaker.
It was okay.
I don't see the point in that personally.
I don't either.
Because like, you know, it's like we talked about with Bliss and Stratus. That's a match that doesn't even need to be promoted.
True.
You know, like, by talking about all that and how the era is open again, I don't know if it's necessary, especially for a show like that where it's more of a special than a pay-per-view, like, you know.
Exactly.
So that's my bad point, but go on, or a bad point, or an itchy point if you like. But
a good moment, finally seeing AOP back.
Okay.
I liked now. Okay, it was against Titus Worldwide, not in the match really, but I'm just happy to see AOP back.
If anything, the only thing I see out of that match between Titus Worldwide is that it could lead to a rivalry now between Titus and Apollo down the line, which I'd be keen on. Yeah,
it was interesting. Apollo put a thing up on his, I think it's Instagram or his Twitter, one of them.
Yeah.
New gym partner needed.
New gym partner needed.
Yeah.
Who said that? Apollo Crews?
Apollo. No, sorry, Titus.
Oh, Titus said that.
Titus
okay.
said that. Yeah.
What about Rousey being presented as champion and Stephanie taking credit for everything again?
Is that your bad?
No, I'm just asking you. That'd be a good point.
Well, that was going to be my bad.
Okay, why is it bad?
Why does Steph have to do this? Why?
Because she provokes people to want to hate her so much. So that's why it works in that sense.
Why can't you just let her do a promo?
Who?
Ronda.
She can. That's the thing. She can, and she did it. And she sold it to the point where, you know, it's not about Stephanie. It's about all the women. Mm-hmm. And here's Stephanie going, I don't even recognize you anymore. But watch her, she'll wipe out everybody. But like, nah, I'm not here to break anyone's arms. I'm only here to break people's arms who deserve it. And Steph being one of them, and Alexa probably being the other.
No,
but
I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that all the roster was on the outside of the ring as well and stuff.
Yeah, but I feel this it later developed. Like it made a really awkward situation into a probably an uplifting situation, where Rousey was like not giving herself the credit; she was giving all the women the credits. You know what I'm trying to say?
I just wasn't a fan of that. Right. Just wasn't a fan.
There's not much. Like the only other thing I can think of Raw was probably the matches between Ambrose, between Dean and Ziggler actually. Ambrose I thought looked very good in his match, by the way. Like that was his first proper in-ring match now since his injury.
Yeah,
and he looks good. That counter from that DDT into the Dirty Deeds.
I like that. Sure. That was good. It was good. It was the highlight of the match for sure.
And that's another reason I think you want to watch Raw at the moment. It's right there between because that's one of the rivalries of the year at the moment for me. Like is the whole Ambrose Rollins against Dolph and Drew now. So
Dean's a bit of an odd man out though at the moment, isn't he?
Who?
Dean.
Not really.
Roman's got the title. Seth has got a title.
The fact
Dean hasn't got a title.
You're missing the point. The fact is,
I'm
though,
making a joke.
I know. Fair enough. The point is, though, it was a 2-on-1 situation, now a 2-on-2 situation. It adds to
or
it.
3-on-2.
Well, at the moment, unless we see Roman involved in it later on, who knows?
Possibly.
There's your 6-man tag right there.
There is your 6-man tag.
There, Dolph, Drew, and Braun.
Yep.
Luke Harper. Nothing against Luke Harper, but he's on SmackDown.
So?
Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot more good things to talk about SmackDown, so let's get to that.
Okay, so...
Alright, so I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Finally seeing the Samoa Joe I wanted to see before. SummerSlam.
Now, what's different about this Joe compared to last week's Joe?
He just went out and he just battered 7 shades of crap out of AJ Styles. He was the Samoa Joe he should be.
So just the one who's attacks right now.
Exactly. This was like the Samoa Joe in the build-up to his match with Brock Lesnar.
Oh, so you see, I think you prefer Joe in a certain type of style. You have to, like, do you not?
But see, this is the Joe I know, though.
Yeah, but do you not like his promo stuff before that?
I do like his promo
He's
stuff.
one of the best promos in WWE.
But like, I did not like the fact that he was just reading a letter. That's the problem.
We talked to the fire. I know. Listen, we still disagree.
We talked about this.
We still disagree.
We talked about this. You know. But this is the Joe. This is the Joe that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that we're doing this now. And I hope that. See, this is okay. So I will but I will concede to you that this letter has helped set up things further along.
100%.
Because now this will probably break out to fights all over the place, which will lead to what's the next pay-per-view called?
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. What's the only thing that can keep them in together?
The Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
A big cage to the roof.
Exactly. So, in that sense, that's why I'm happy.
I tell you what I love about that segment in particular, the old school setup where the interview's on the stage.
Yeah.
And Joe's able to swipe AJ's feet and start the attack that way.
And just the line afterwards was brilliant. Saying that Daddy's coming home, but it looks like Daddy's already gone night-night. Brilliant.
I want to bring up Becky's promo.
Okay.
Because I thought it was so well done. Mm-hmm. Like how she and she can cut a hell of a heel promo. But here's the thing. It still feels like people are. I feel Becky's going to be a miscast in this. Like, because I think there's no doubt about that. Because no matter how much of a heel she is, she went against the crowd at stages as well during her promo.
She had to.
She had to, of course. But she's always going to be cheered.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, like, this is telling an interesting story, though. Like, that's one thing. Like, you could argue the fact that Becky, it makes more sense for Charlotte to be heel, and it makes more sense for Becky to be the super babyface. But the fact is, it's telling the story of Becky's frustrations, where she has to have a breaking point. What happened in SummerSlam broke the camel's back for her.
Yeah.
And I just love that so much. So that's what makes me intrigued about the rivalry going forwards.
Yeah.
Not only is it like, you could argue the fact that, oh well, Becky's not getting the title, it doesn't matter, because like, as long as it's a run towards something, where rather than being in the background for a while, only being in tag matches for a while, which is what she was doing a few months ago, and now she's getting this really good run, probably the two best female wrestlers they have right now in the main roster.
It's interesting because
and now
we had this discussion off air.
Yeah,
and it got pretty heated as well.
Well, not really.
We talked about it.
We disagreed.
It was some good stuff.
Yes, but the point is now it's a good run to a huge rivalry at a very significant pay-per-view where it could be main events.
It will be main event.
It has to be.
It is. It has that personal feel of it that it will be main event.
Yeah. So I'm loving
while
this. And I can't wait to check out
let me
week.
get this across first of all. While I applaud that Becky is doing what they're doing with Becky is something different. It's against the grain that WWE wouldn't often do, and I applaud them for that.
Yes.
The fact that I myself personally, just seeing the way the crowd was, seeing that, especially the crowd reaction when Charlotte won, I think that's important. Not the crowd reaction when Becky finally turned heel, but the crowd reaction when Charlotte won.
Yeah.
That they were booing her out of the building. Right? Just let me finish the point first.
I see where you're going though. Go on.
Finish the point. I personally would think that it would have been better to keep Becky as a face, to keep her as the top baby face, because she has the crowd so behind her right now that the payoff, and this would have been a fantastic payoff for Evolution, a payoff of her finally winning the title against Charlotte, finally actually getting the better of her. The crowd reaction, it would skyrocket. It would be fantastic, I think, and it would send her to a different stratosphere as the top face woman in the business, more than Ronda Rousey.
Okay, but who said that can't happen organically? But the way things are right now, because let's face it, the crowd sympathize at Becky about what she did. Like even though they went against her, she had the fact is, and we both agree, when you think about the spot she was in and the way she was booked, she has every right to be angry. That organically happened. She could be like a Stone Cold type face, where even though she's a heel, the crowd still cheer. Opposite, like Charlotte would be probably similar to Reigns, even though she's supposed to be face, the crowd is still against her.
I don't think they're going to do that with her. I think they're just going to make her a heel. And the problem that I have with it as well is, and like I said, we said it off air.
Yeah.
There's got to be a means to an end here. There has to be. You cannot turn Becky heel just for the sake of trying to make Charlotte look better and not give her a payoff, a la being the champion.
So you're
because
saying
then you're just wasting what you had right there. You're wasting any heel turn they could have done in the future.
Yeah, but we don't know that yet. So that's
I know.
too far
This is
ahead,
why I'm saying that. I'm not saying that it's. That's why I'm saying this has to have a means to an end. I'm not saying that it won't.
Yeah.
I'm saying for me personally, for it to work, I believe it has to have a means to an end where she does have the title. If you want this heel gimmick to work, because if we just go back recently to Nakamura when he turned heel, they turned him heel just so he could have a couple of matches with AJ. They didn't even put the title on him.
Right.
Instead, they gave him a mid-card title to have for a while. There's no mid-card title for the women.
Doesn't need to be.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They can't just fall back on her if they choose not to put the main title on her and give her mid-card title to at least make it seem as if this was the whole reason why we turned her heel.
The fact is, I'm intrigued by it, though.
Don't turn her heel to give her 3 matches against Charlotte in the build-up to Mania next year, focusing everything on Charlotte instead.
I don't think that's what they're doing at all. I think that it's on both of them rather than just Charlotte.
It's just a warning. That's not what
fine.
I think will happen, but I think that's just a warning that I think has to be in people's head as well.
It's your what's the word? It's your cautious warning.
It's just my cautious side, yeah. It's a cautious warning. It's not what I think will happen. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying these things have to be thought about before you agree or disagree with Becky being a heel.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to go back as a face. That's all.
Let's talk about 2 more things with SmackDown before we move on.
2 things we didn't like.
Okay.
One each.
2 things I didn't like.
No, one thing each.
One thing we didn't like. SmackDown was good this week. There's something I don't like, if I'm honest with you, man.
I didn't like the return of Bray.
Okay, why?
Why do we have to have a mixed tag match?
It adds an extra layer to the rivalry between Miz and Bryan, which, by the way, I commit that whole rivalry.
Like, we saw this just with the Cena and the Nikki thing, and that match didn't work.
Yeah, but it adds different elements where this time it's Bray who's punching Miz because
that's not going to happen in the match. And actually, it happened in the other match as well.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It happened in the other build-up as well. It did.
The point is, it adds another elements to this rivalry because obviously, we'll talk about it. We mentioned it on SummerSlam. Like, you know, there's a degree where they held back deliberately in that match. For this, like, it's a continuation, and we'll eventually have a big, huge, awesome match, like probably on the Survivor Series if Brian's around for that. So I was for that anyway. I think that was good actually. So
no, I don't.
I loved Miz's promo for that, by the way. The emotional fake retirements.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can agree on that. I can't think of anything bad myself now from SmackDown. I enjoyed it. I can't pick out notes, if I'm honest.
Really?
The only thing I'd say is maybe, if I'm being super critical, I'd look at Jeff and Orton, only because like the Swanton off the table. Apparently Jeff has a bad back. I'm like, you want to be careful with a couple of them. So
to be fair, the 2 nights beforehand, he did it on the apron.
It's true. It's just as bad.
Let's be real about this.
Yeah. I just want to mention on SmackDown as well that the tag title change, which obviously is for a reason now, because we know
the reason now.
Yeah. But give Eric Rowan all the credit in the world for hanging tough on that, like, you know. No DQ match, and it was a good title change as well.
Like, just mentioned the fact when Kofi was going to go after Eric Rowan, and then out of nowhere Luke Harper just throws a chair at him.
Yeah,
he throws the commentary chair as well, not just a steel chair.
Now, because the New Day have been around for so long now, they've been faces for probably 3 years now, and this is their 5th or 6th title reign now as tag champions. Do you yourself feel sick of them at the moment, or are you still all for them? No,
I think that they constantly reinvent themselves.
Exactly.
That it's absolutely fine, no matter what.
I'm totally with you on that. There's only one thing I want to mention now about 205 before we move on. I don't know if you've seen this. Like, they had a very good match between the Lucha House Party. I think it wasn't Kalisto. It was Lindsay Dorado and Gran Metalik taking on Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese in a tornado tag.
Yeah.
But it was such a good match because, like, they're doing Hurricanranas out into the floor, like, from the ring. Like, it was such a good match. Like, so I urge anyone. That's probably like an unsung match this weekend, obviously, because there was so much to cover, like both for WWE and for here in Ireland as well.
Yeah.
But like, it almost reminds you of the old WCW cruiserweight matches now, because that's how really good the 205 can really get now. Like, because they consistently put on one good show after the other now with stuff like that. So that's a must watch. So if you haven't seen 205, watch for that match alone. Like, so it's definitely worth it. We haven't really gotten to say about NXT this week. It was just a go home show, like or more of a return show, if you like, in the back of TakeOver, just highlights. They had a good match between Zach Gibson and Pete Dunne, though. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, but like we're in that way. We've got much else to say regarding all that. But let's move on now and finish off our show with our yes nos.
Yes, no! Yes, no! Yes, no!
So we have a handful of yes nos to bring up. So let's get to them very quickly. Titus Worldwide to split up.
Yes.
I actually want to see a rivalry between those two, actually.
Give them something to do.
It would, yeah, it's the thing. See, it makes more sense if you do that. And it's a tag team that aren't really going anywhere. Like, it seems slow-ish what they're doing. So it gives more for Apollo Crews, who is a fantastic wrestler, very good athlete. And someone like Titus, who probably is the cocky type and probably try and nick a victory here. So that could work as a rivalry down the line. So Shawn Michaels to have one more match.
No.
There was chat about this during the week where he was hinting at like so.
Yeah, no.
Not at all, no.
No.
Even against AJ or anything like that? Okay.
Don't want it. I'd rather just look back at his other matches.
Yeah. I think he's at that stage now. Does he need to go back?
No.
You know what I mean? AJ Lee to return to Evolution.
No.
There's rumors of this.
No.
Is she even wrestling anymore?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she'll ever come back.
All right.
Not while she's married to CM Punk, anyway.
Do you think that has a huge factor in her even wrestling?
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah.
Asuka to turn heel. This could work for her, I think. It would make a lot of sense. The trouble is, though...
she's a fantastic heel.
Yes.
So I'd be all on board for her to be heel. Just get her out there, you know?
The only trouble I have with this is on the back of the Becky situation, whether that puts the heat away from that situation.
Hmm?
The only thing is, like, if Asuka turns heel, would not take the hate away from Becky. Because she's like probably, even though she's miscast as a heel. I feel Asuka could be the exact same situation. She'd be miscast heel as well.
If they do, they won't do it for a while, I guess. So
have to see what happens.
Yeah, I think so. I think she'd have to be left in the background for a while, unfortunately. Can I give you a yes no?
Okay, go for it.
Kurt Angle to return as a full-time wrestler.
No way. Like,
there's rumours contrary.
Okay, where are the rumours coming from?
The rumours are coming from, let me just see.
And did he say it in an interview or something like that?
The Fired Up podcast.
Okay.
Can't say I've heard of them before, but the reason why he's taking a break from Raw is that he's going to get ready so he can do make a return like Daniel Bryan.
Okay, well, if he's fit enough to do it, I'd love to see it, but he's at that age now and he's held up one or two injuries where I'd be more cautious of him having a full-term return than Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, no. He is training for his in-ring return as a full-time wrestler while he's off TV, and like there's strong rumors, and he has been announced that he's going to take part in the Super Showdown.
All right, well, on that case, I said no at the start. Based on that information, I'll go maybe.
And he did take an F5 a couple of weeks ago as well. So
that's true.
So
he can take a bump.
bumps.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Shields turn heel.
Already are heel, so I'd say...
Not really.
I think they are.
They aren't.
Yes, just because I want to see them heel.
Yeah, like, I think, especially now that Roman's Universal Champion, and this gives these guys the opportunity to protect Roman as champion. Like, if let's say Rollins loses the title, the Intercontinental title, let's say, somehow he loses it again to, loses it to Drew or Dolph again, and maybe the one that goes after then Rollins and Ambrose go after the tag titles. It could be a similar situation when they were protecting the authority. Remember that? Yeah. So we're protecting each other. The final yes no I have this week is an intriguing one: the Bullet Club to join WWE. Now this is based on Cody's comments in a recent press conference, where he hinted gave possible hints concerning the future of himself, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Omega.
No.
So I can never see it happening. No. Even you see hints of it even in being in the Elites. Like you noticed that Matt and Nick were saying how knackered they were from the whole schedule that they're on. So, like, you know what they're like. They're probably trolling, but at the same time, you cannot help but be a bit intrigued. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
They set their own schedule.
That's true. We'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all the time we have for this part of the Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guide, live here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out all our podcast content on iTunes, Podbeam, YouTube, and Spotify. Check out my Twitter at Dave Bandana and Darah's at
Mars Bar.
And we'll be back now on our regular for our podcast. We had our podcast just recently for Summerslam and NXT Brooklyn 4. If you haven't checked it out, please give that a listen. But stay tuned to this timeline, because we'll also be covering all events from OTT. So that was WrestleRama 2 and Contenders The Hangover 2. So lots to talk about there. So make sure to check that out to give us our reviews there, and we're going from there. So this is nice. I like the way we're doing this now. We're keeping it short and sweet for the main stuff, and now moving our attention now to the heavier stuff, if you like.
Exactly. Let's move on. Let's get heavy.
It's indeed. But so we'll hear back from you then. Until then, I've been Dave Cullen. He's been Daragh Maher. This has been the Kick Out, your weekly pro wrestling guide. Thank you so much for listening.